We talked about the coronavirus, when the vaccine would arrive, and how long it'll be before we're back in the streets kissing strangers again. Bill Gates, welcome back to the Daily Social Distancing Show.
Good to see you.
You last joined us on the show, I would say it was about 7 months ago. And 7 months ago, just like Dr. Fauci, you said you were worried because you felt like the worst was yet to come. A lot of people accused you of peddling fear and terror, and now it appears that unfortunately you were correct. Here's my question to you. Why does it seem like we've become worse at handling the pandemic, in Europe or in the US than we were 7 months ago, when 7 months ago it was so bad?
Well, there's a couple things working against us. First is that with the winter, when we're colder, the virus multiplies more and we're indoors more. So that is not a good thing. And then there's a certain fatigue. Some of the things people have had to do in terms of staying away from friends, that's tougher. I have to say this round, it looks like Europe is getting better compliance with the restrictions than the US is. And so they're starting to see a downturn.
When you talk about that compliance and when you talk about the downturn, is part of the downturn, like, should we be looking at the virus cases or should we be looking at the deaths? Because I never know which one is more important. The news will be like 1 million more people, 2 million, 5 million, 7 million, and then you'll see some doctors saying, yes, but fewer people are dying from it because we know how to treat it. How should we be looking at this virus and the fight that we have against it?
Well, the cases are the leading indicator. It is true that cases are translating into less deaths for two reasons. One is that the cases are more in the young people who are less likely to be very sick. And the other is that the quality of treatment, including some new drugs like dexamethasone, have been proven out. So when you do get hospitalized, you have a higher chance of survival. But we're predicted to go back up to over 2,000 deaths a day in the months ahead. So for the next 6 to 8 months, the news is mostly bad. After that, the volume of the vaccine will have kicked in, and then we'll have, there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Wow. I mean, the question is then, I think for a lot of people, is like, how long is that tunnel? How bad does that tunnel get? And how do we stop it from being the worst possible tunnel? One of the big things a lot of people are worried about is going to be the transition between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. You've worked with governments all over the world, working on their vaccine distribution, working on healthcare around the planet. You know how important it is for one administration to talk to the next when it comes to handing off on their plans. How much do you think this will actually affect America's response if there isn't a transition?
Well, it's unfortunate that the current administration got tied into a positive narrative that we're turning the corner. And that you now have this transition. It'll make the messages a little less clear. This is when you'd love to see the best CDC people on TV reminding us about social distancing and masks, and particularly when there is that fatigue out there. So leaders at all levels, this is a chance to step up, even non-politicians, encouraging friends, that, hey, we don't want this additional several 100,000 deaths. It'd be tragic to be the last person who dies, when the vaccine is absolutely on the way. So I think the good news should drive compliance, not laxity.